Batman number 3 is here, and we are introduced to one of Batman's major villains, but not in the way that you think. You already know what to do. Put on that utility belt, put on that cape and cowl. The Bat Center is out. Hop in the Batmobile and roll that intro, cuts. Yeah. What's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earthsmack, the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media Channel. So today we are covering Matt Fraction's Batman number 3, man. Told you guys I was going to be sticking with this, man, because I really love the art style in this book, man. Very eye-catching. Love the writing in this book so far. Batman number 1, number 2. Killing the game, and you want to stick around to the end of this video. That way you can get my personal review on Batman number 3. So let's get into it. So it starts off in East, Coventry, Monolith, and Burns, where Batman number 2 actually left off at. So we're introduced to Huston Gray, Civics Project, Take 1. Okay, Miss Marjorie, how has Gotham changed most in your lifetime? And Marjorie says, oh, sweetheart, all Gotham City ever does is change. And she's like, hold up now. That thing's a phone? You're like, yes, ma'am. And you're recording me on it? It's my mom's. She's like, well, that's changed. Everybody on phones all the time. Otherwise, buildings come, buildings go, street blocks, whole neighborhoods change, city's still the city. Maybe people change most. We're all on our own. Now seems like nobody's helping nobody, except for you know who. And you see him pull up the little bat ears. It says, never say his name out loud unless you need him. Huston here. And he's like, yes, ma'am. Now, as he's doing this interview, he hears gunshots outside. Now, from that standpoint, obviously, Huston is an aspiring journalist. So the first thing he does is go outside to see what the piss is going on. And Marjorie's like, yo, get back in here. She was like, no, be quiet, Miss Marjorie. I got this. So he takes out his phone and he is recording Batman and Robin getting in the Batmobile. So from that standpoint, Marjorie asking, okay, now that you got the tea, what exactly is going on here? And he says, Officer Gordon's down there. Bunch of people too. Big guy in a suit. He looks like the boss. Now that is Vandal Savage. And we get to see in full splendor what he did and how that Batarang got in the evidence bag from the last issue. He planted evidence and put blood around it so he can freely blame Batman and Robin for the murder of a cop. Now, from that standpoint, Vandal Savage goes to Narrowbridge Hospital and he visits the surviving police officer. He says, why wasn't this mentioned in your report? He like, I didn't see him, sir. Now, you and your partner believed you apprehended Robin. The Batman came to his rescue. And he grabs the oxygen tube. He like, say his name, officer. Put him at the scene or you will never say anything ever again. And from that standpoint, the nurse walks in right in the nick of time and says, get back away from him. He needs some help. I mean, now, what Vandal Savage did was kind of stupid. Like, okay, you cutting off his oxygen. You don't think the machine's going to beat and nurses not going to come in? Like, what were you thinking with that? But either way it goes, he says, now, easy now, Officer Davis. Like, stop struggling. Now, he's staring down Vandal Savage, and he says, indeed, save your words, officer. Now, from that standpoint, we jump from that to still being in the hospital. Bruce Wayne went to go visit Tim Drake. Now, Tim, boyfriend, Bernard, or I'm assuming that's his boyfriend, say, hey, pull Bruce Wayne out for a second. Let me talk to you for a minute. He like, Mr. Wayne? He like, Bruce. He like, Bruce, I realized something funny the other day. Whenever you and Tim go off on one of your little bro weekends, he always comes back beating up all the hell. Weird, isn't it? I mean, whenever he spends time with you, he gets hurt. These are lovely. Thanks. Now, he just snatched the flowers out of Bruce's hand. Like, Bernard is assuming that Bruce is abusing Tim. You know what I mean? I mean, he is indirectly. He's not physically doing it, but Robin's out in the street. And obviously, Bernard don't know that. So Bruce had to basically take that with a grain of salt. Now, as he's in the hospital, there's this interview that's going on, in the background. And with that interview is a dialogue between Dr. Hugo Strange and Dr. Zeller. Now, I'm not going to jump into that. I'm going to stick to the main point because it's a few stories that is in this #3 comic. It's not an annual where it's like several stories going on, but there are subplots in there. And so I'm going to stick to the main plot. So we go to the Coventry, 5th and Row, and Jim Gordon is calling Detective Bullock. Now, Detective Bullock is now running his own investigation service. He like, geez, Harvey, what took so long? Sleep on the phone again? He like, well, if it ain't the world's oldest beat cop, jumping Jimmy Gordon. How's the shin splints, Rook? He like, very funny. I need you to toss up the signal. Something's up with Savage. Him like, something's up with Savage. Real genius detective work there, Jim. He like, Harv, I am serious. The GCPD has declared open season on bats. It's about to get ugly. He was like, all hell, consider the bat signal activated. Now, from this standpoint, it's not the casual bat signal. It's something really, really small that signals for Batman. And Batman actually pulls up. He says, thanks, all great meeting. He like, Jim's idea, not mine. He like, how much taxpayer money we spent on that rooftop flashlight you had all those years, when all it takes is a crappy stuffed animal jammed in a window to get your attention. He was like, it was a symbol for them, not him, so everyone knew, says Jim. And Bullet like, yeah, I remember. And he like, gentlemen, as much as I like to reminisce, I have a busy night. I assume you have a bad news for me. And Bullet says, wouldn't have called it if it was good. And Gordon's like, Savage is using the shootout last night to make some changes in the GCPD policy and operations. He wants to leak the press he has evidence you're a cop killer. He's issued orders to shoot on sight and deputize a private mercenary squad to do his job. Now, from that standpoint, he's being informed of what exactly Vandal Savage is doing with the GCPD. And we jump over to Harborview, which is Wayne Experimental Science Building. And this is where we introduce to one of Batman's main villains, and that is the Riddler. So the Riddler just goes on. He was like, when are rent-a-cops as useful as a pair of sneakers? When is a drag race a real drag? And he's looking at this device in here. He's like, when does Rooster miss the sunrise? And what did Napoleon do for his toothache? And from that standpoint, Batman punches him right in the face. He was like, oh, Edward, when they're tied up, when it goes down without a car, when the alarm is off, and he took the crown. So he's basically answering all the riddles Nigma has said to himself. Batman was out here waiting on him. Now, from that standpoint, he says, you were really keeping it together there for a while, Edward. CEO of Nigma Tech, so rich you could buy your way out of any trouble, top of the world. Like, what happened? And he lunges at Batman. Now, I mean, just be honest with you. Like, when it comes to Nigma going hand to hand with Batman, it's not going to go well. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to go well. So he throws him against the wall, and he's like, please, Edward, stop this. Now, from that standpoint, he responds because it couldn't stop. And he pulls out a piece of paper and he hands it to Batman. He says, when is an unmade omelet crunchy? When it's eggs? Where does John get the news? The toilet paper. What is this? A grocery list? He's like, hours. It took me hours. Make it stop. Just want to make my head stop. So at that point, Batman gives him a sedative. Now, we're going to put a pin in that. We're going to go back to Lower Gotham and Prentice Robert. Remember, Huston got the footage of Vandal Savage planting the evidence. And he goes to this reporter named Mr. Dean. He like, you're Mr. Jack Dean. He's like, depends on who asking. You owe me money? Like, do I owe you money? He's like, nah, nothing like that. My name is Huston. I live in your building. I'm doing a homework assignment. I don't tutor kid, and I don't do internships. Now, this dude is like extremely rude. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a kid trying to talk to you. He's like, no, sir, I don't want any of that. I filmed something tonight. Like, I think it could be news. And that's what you do, right? You're a newspaper man. Now, he's basically putting that out there. So now that kind of put Vandal Savage at a disadvantage. I'm very curious on what will happen once this information gets out there. But we go back to Batman being on the beat. And he says, did Hugo Strange put you up to this little smash and grab, Edward? Going on TV like that? He may as well have put up wanted posters. He was like, What? No. It's I wanted, I heard when ain't K haram. And at that point, he passes out. Now, this is where you get the AI of Alfred. So when you get the AI of Alfred, he's having this conversation with him. He's like, ain't calls attention to itself. K, 1,000, haram, forbidden, could be gibberish. He like, haram has a secular usage set aside. It's an anagram, Master Bruce, with a double negative twist. So when is K part of haram? He was like, when it's in Arkham. I believe the Riddler was telling you your Dr. Zeller has been using her experimental device on the patients in Arkham. And that is the last page of Batman #3. So I got to give you my personal review. First of all, let me tell you, there's a couple stories that's going on. Huston Gray, that's story #1. Okay. Story #2 is a relationship between Tim and Bruce and Bernard, because Bernard feels some type of way about Bruce because everywhere Robin goes, Tim comes back hurt anytime he's out with Bruce Wayne. So that's story #2. Story #3 is the Hugo Strange situation, because I know there was some footage that was going on in the background when it comes down to this hospital situation, and that was Batman is referring to. And obviously story #4 is Batman chasing this thing down. So there's a few subplots in there going on with the main plot, and I do like that aspect. When it comes down to this comic, it is a good starting off point, a good jumping off point for someone that has not read Batman in a long time. And this is really starts from Batman #1, goes on to Batman #2, Batman #3. You don't have to be like a super duper expert in Batman lore to actually enjoy this comic. Like, I look forward to this comic every single month. Like Jorge Jimenez, Matt Fraction, they're all doing their thing, man. I can't speak enough of this particular artwork because it's a different vibe. It's a different look on Gotham, So highly recommend this book. Highly recommend it. The pacing is really good, and it keeps you at the edge of your seat. There's a lot of things that's going on and a lot of things you can sink your teeth into. Yes, it is a Batman story, but you get to sink your teeth into other characters as well. I am missing like the fifth story. The fifth story is the relationship between Damian and Bruce, because and this is where I want you to go to your LCS and actually pick up Batman #3. Okay, I really want you guys to go out there and get this, and that's why I skip out some parts when I'll do these coverage of Batman or any comic that we do, because I want you to physically go out there and get a physical copy of these books, okay? Because support is needed. You know what I mean? Support is needed. And there has been an increase in comic book sales and stuff like that with blind bags and red bands and stuff like that. So this is one of those reasons. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Be sure to leave in some comments, man. Hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. And when you hit that notification bell, make sure you hit that drop down box. When you hit that drop down box, make sure you select all. That way you get notified on all of our content, whether it's live or recorded. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, y'all. Peace.